So when I was like in my late teens, early 20s, and was in danger of joining some kind of ultra leftist sect and blowing something up, my mother thought. He seems to be in danger of joining some ultra-leftist sect and blowing something up. I have to do something about this. Knowing that she couldn't actually try the direct approach, given that she's my mother and that sort of thing doesn't work, she thought, well, who around here is left-wing enough that David would like them and respect them, but reasonable and not about to go do something rash. And so she had heard about this veteran of the Abraham Lincoln Brigade who lived in the area, so she invited him over for dinner. And thought he'd talk sense in me, and it worked. And she invited over other people in the area. It turns out there's like all these radicals in Litchfield County, Connecticut. Who knew? They're there. They're out there. And when Bob Steck, when he was growing up in Iowa, and I think of this especially in light of the current foreclosure crisis. Bob and others in this room here now were involved with keeping the banks from auctioning off farms by surrounding the auctions and bidding a penny for everything and giving everything back to the farmers. And Bob's, the woman who would become his wife, Jo, was living in New York City doing much the same thing with people evicted from their apartments. After the cops would carry everything down, the unions of the unemployed would carry everything back up. And we need a lot more of that now. And I was, and I'm honored tonight that we have about 5 members of Bob Steck's family who all live around here, and I had forgotten they lived around here, and they're all here. So this is for you. They were old when I was young. Now they've all but passed away. Now it's just a secondhand memory of the day when from all around the world they sailed off to Spain to fight against the fascists where so many men were slain. We'll recall the days when they all stood side by side. Now that the last Lincoln veteran died, or in a veterans parade, you can see the men who made the journey to join the 15th Brigade. When men of many nations, of most every creed and hue, Catholics and Protestants, atheists and Jews, joined together in the trenches to turn back the fascist tide. Now that the last Lincoln veteran died, the working class of many nations joined in a desperate bid with what weapons they could find. They fought to save Madrid from Brussels and Berlin, Galway and London town. Who will recall the brigadistas who went to take the fascists down? There beside the Spanish people, even the figs and olives cried. Now that the last Lincoln veteran died, called Karama. It's a place that we all know so well. It was there that we gave of our manhood, so many of our great